Hello everyone. Today we're going to review writing linear equations. We learned how to write a linear equation from a slope and a point, from 2 points, from a table, and from a graph. And for the most part, you're going to follow these three formulas. You need to find your slope first, plug it into point slope form, and then convert that into slope intercept. So let's just get straight into the first problem. It says, what is the equation of the line that has a slope of 4/3 and passes through the point 9, 2? So keyword, I see slope. And they even tell us the value. So this one kind of cuts out a step because it already gave us slope. And slope is m. Okay, and then they tell us a point. That point 9, 2, we're going to label it as x1 and y1. So from these steps above, I don't need to find slope because it was already given. We're going to go straight to point slope form. So that slope, we are going to plug it in for m. And for the point, it's going to go here for the x1 and y1 values. So following that format from above, I have y minus y1, which for us, y1 is the number 2, equals m. And for us, m is 4/3. Parentheses x minus x1, and our x1 is the number 9. Okay, so this right here is already our point slope form. So if you look at our instructions, that is one thing that they wanted us to find, point slope form. Okay, but the other thing is now they want us to find it in slope intercept form. So looking at slope intercept form here, the two main differences are, so slope intercept form does not have parentheses, so we're going to have to distribute to get rid of those parentheses. The other thing is that slope intercept has the y by itself. This one doesn't, so we're going to have to move things over to get y by itself. So back to my problem. Let's start by doing that distribution. So the left side, y minus 2, is going to stay the same. But on the right, 4/3 times x is just 4/3x. And then 4/3 times -9. You don't need to do this by hand. You can type this directly into the calculator. But when you do that, you get -12. Okay, and then next step is I want this y to be alone. So this -2, I need a way of moving it over to the other side of the equal sign. So we're going to use inverse operation. Since this one is minus, we are going to do the opposite and we are going to add. Do that to both sides. That'll cancel out on the left, so I'm left with just my y. Then on the right, 4/3x. And combining those two, -12 plus 2 gives me -10. This is my slope intercept form. So now I've found the equation in the two forms that they asked me to. Okay, now let's look at the next problem. Next problem, what is the equation of the line that passes through the points 1, 2, and -2, -7? So this time they didn't give us the slope. We're going to have to figure that out on our own. So for this first point, I'm going to call that one x1, y1. And then I'm going to call the second point x2, y2. So now that I have that written down, I can go ahead and use the slope formula from above. So if you notice, I need to have the y's on the top, specifically y2 minus y1. So that would be negative 7 minus 2. Let me write this down. Then at the bottom, x2 minus x1. So negative 2 minus 1. This gives me negative 9 over negative 3, which simplifies to positive 3. So this is what I'm going to substitute for slope. Now let's start looking at point slope form. So I'm going to follow this format here, starting with y minus y1, and our y1 is the number 2, equals m, and we just calculated m to equal 3, parentheses x minus x1, which for us is the number 1. So that there is our point slope form. Now I need to convert it to slope intercept form. So we're going to leave the left side the way it is for now. But on the right side, let's distribute the 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Now I want y to be by itself, so I'm going to use inverse operation and add 2 to both sides. Those 2's will cancel. And I'm left with y equals 3x. Negative 3 plus 2 gives me negative 1. And this is our slope intercept form. Okay, now let's look at our table. The question says, what is the equation of the line that is represented by the following table? So I need to start off by finding slope. So I'm just going to use the first 2 points that are on here, x1, y1 for my first point, x2, y2 for my second point. Okay, so I know on the top I need to have y2 minus y1, so that is negative 14 minus negative 5, all over x2 minus x1, which is 5 over 2, 5 minus 2. So see on the top, kind of looks funny right now, that minus negative, that turns into a plus sign. So negative 14 plus 5 over 5 minus 2. So now we can do this calculation. Negative 14 plus 5 is negative 9 over 5 minus 2 is 3. And this will simplify to negative 3. So now that I have my slope, I'm going to plug it into slope intercept form. I'm sorry, point slope form. Y minus y1. Our y1 is this negative 5. Equals m, which we just calculated to be negative 3, parentheses x minus x1, which is 2. So that double negative thing came up again. I just want to fix that really quickly. Don't want to leave it like that. Okay, so that double negative will turn into a plus sign. 3 plus 5 equals negative 3 x minus 2. This is now our point slope form. Okay, but now I want to change it into slope intercept. So the left is going to stay the same for now, which is y plus 5. But on the right, let's distribute that negative 3. So negative 3x. And then for the next one, Negative 3 times negative 2 gives me positive 6. I want y to be by itself, so using inverse operations, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So y equals negative 3x plus 1. That is my slope intercept form. Okay, and now just one last problem to look at. This time, it's a graph. What is the equation of the line that is represented by the graph below? So I need to find slope of this line first. In order to find slope, I need two perfect points that are going exactly through the corner. So this one has a few of them. So right on top of the arrow, here, here, here. So this one has a bunch. You can pick any two of these that you want. So I'm going to do this one here. So that's the point negative 1 comma 2. And let's do this one on the axis. So that is the point 3 comma 0. And I'm going to label these points. Let's say this first one is x1, y1 down here, and x2, y2 up here. Okay, so let's start with our slope. We start with our y's on the top, y2 minus y1, so that would be 2 minus 0. And then on the bottom, x2 minus x1, so negative 1 minus 3, which gives me 2 over negative 4. And I can simplify that to negative 1/2. Now let's start plugging into point slope form. So that would be y minus y1. So if you look at the points, I have 0 for y1 equals m. M we just calculated to be negative 1/2, parentheses, x minus x1, and our x1 is 3. Okay, so this is almost point slope form. It's just that, see that minus 0? I mean, when you subtract 0 from something, that does absolutely nothing. So you don't really need to have that written there. You could just write y equals negative 1/2 x minus 3. This would be our point slope form. Now I want to find our slope intercept. So left is going to stay the same for now, but on the right side, let's distribute that 1/2. So negative 1/2 x. And then for here, negative times a negative makes it positive. And then just put this in the calculator that I showed you. And this would give us 3 over 2. The good news about that first 0 being there is that kind of cut out a step for us. I'm already done. This right here is slope intercept form. Okay guys, and that's how you write equations using point slope form. And it was 4 different types. So given a slope and a point, given 2 points, given a table, and given a graph. You do have a short assignment today. Please look in your Schoology folder to see what it is. If you have any questions over anything, let me know through email or through Schoology messages. Bye guys, see y'all tomorrow.